Welcome to North Idaho Experience. In today's episode, Eric and I sit down with Elaine Damschen. She is from here, believe it or not. I know, it's kind of a unicorn these days. She's an author. She wrote a book called Made in Vietnam. And in this episode, we're going to talk about the trades in North Idaho. She's been involved in the trades for a long time here as far as plumbing, electrical, things like that. Entrepreneurialism. She's been a long time entrepreneur here, and we're going to talk about why North Idaho is such a hotbed for entrepreneurs. And the community, of course, because it's the best community on earth. And her experience growing up from a multi-ethnic family here in North Idaho. So we touch on the racism topic a little bit, and you'll get her viewpoints on that as well. And her story about her parents meeting during the Vietnam War, and then her mom getting pregnant and coming over here and giving birth to her, and how she learned of that story later in life, and the emotional impact that took on her and the healing that came after. Really cool story. You guys will enjoy this episode, and she's definitely an asset to this community. If you guys are thinking about making the move up here, give our real estate team a call, text, or email. We are easy to find. The info's in the show notes, and we would love to help you guys make that move up here. That's how we pay the bills. Also, if you guys enjoy this podcast, please like, subscribe, and if you're listening on audio platforms, drop us a review so we can grow there as well. Thank you, and enjoy the show. Coeur d'Alene, so that was pretty cool.
How long have you been a part of the Chamber of Commerce?
Well, so when we started, my husband and I started our business, which was Mainstream Electric at the time. Gosh, I mean, I think Mainstream's still members. So we joined in about 2000, 2001.
Right. Oh, wow. That's a long time ago.
Yeah. So we were really active in the chamber for about 10 years. And then we moved our business into Spokane Valley. And I believe Mainstream's still members. We ended up selling about 4 years ago. So,
Yeah.
Yeah. So I was actually a guest at the chamber of Jen Smock, who won the Volunteer of the Year.
Yeah. Cool.
Oh, very cool.
Very neat. I'm very curious about this book. I want to dive into that a little bit. So I have not read it. I just met you today, actually, so I had not had a chance. Made in Vietnam.
Yep.
Tell me about this book. Is this the first book you've written? First question.
This is the first book I've written, yeah.
Okay.
The inaugural book.
Do you have a background in this? Or did it just, like, you had this burning desire to create and it happened?
So what happened, so my background, I'm Vietnamese American. My mother is Vietnamese, and my dad was an American soldier from Minnesota, and they met during the Vietnam War.
Wow.
So my parents ended up taking me in 2006 to Vietnam to go meet my mom's family. And we had some traumatic things happen, and so they ended up sharing their love story, which really rocked my world and all the things that they went through. And what I discovered was I was actually conceived in Vietnam during the Vietnam War.
No way.
Yes. And when my mom was almost 8 months pregnant, she was allowed out of Vietnam legally, pregnant with me, and into Spokane, Washington. And what I learned was the big goal was to get me to America so I could be born as a U.S. citizen. Because my dad, after the fact, has said I was not going to leave a child in Vietnam.
Yeah. Wow. I'm reading a book about Vietnam right now. It's Jack Carr's new book, Cry Havoc, and it's set in Vietnam. And I've read books about Vietnam before, but I guess it's like a slightly different spin. It's a little more eye-opening of the realities of the politics involved, and really looking at, should we have been there, should we not have been there, and the tragedies put on the people of Vietnam with having us there.
Yeah.
Does this book dive into that?
It does not.
Okay.
It is more about me being in a multicultural home, living isolated on Carpenter Loop in Post Falls, Idaho.
Yeah.
And the culture shock and some mental and emotional abuse that I endured and my sisters endured because of the multicultural facet.
Oh, yeah.
And it was like, remember that you're Vietnamese, but yet be American. And it talks about the trauma that I went through as a child until they took me to that pivotal moment in Vietnam when I learned about their story. And then I finally could understand why my mom was the way that she was. And then I could just have ultimate forgiveness and love her the way she deserved to be loved at the end of her life.
Oh, wow. Well, that must have been a huge shift for her. Where did she come from in Vietnam? Was it a small village? Was it a larger area?
So my mom lived in Saigon,
Okay.
and she was a daughter of, there were 12 children.
Wow.
And they lived in a 2-bedroom apartment. My grandmother was a stay-at-home grandmother, and my grandfather worked at he worked for the French government. And so it was a really limited income. And I'll just come out and say it. What I discovered was that my mom was actually sex trafficked by her own mother.
Oh my gosh.
Yep. She was walked down to a bar during the Vietnam War, and she was auctioned off as a virgin to the highest bidder. And she was a sex worker during the war. I don't think it was uncommon, but for me to discover that that's how my parents met, and that my dad fell in love with her and was going to do everything he could to make sure that
is wild.
she got to the America with me. Yeah.
Man,
Wow.
Yeah.
heck of a story. So you discovered all that when you went back to Vietnam? Mm-hmm. That had to be a ton. Not just the recognition of the way of life, but also thinking about that could have been where you grew up as opposed to here. Mm-hmm. Was there any thought about like being drawn to that culture versus this one?
No, my mom was a force, and she was a trailblazer. And at age 36, to understand that she chose not to carry on the patterns that her mom had, the work that her mom had her do, and that she wanted to end that for me. It was super, I can't even explain it. So going back to your original question, so why did I want to write the book? Because I'm living this one paradigm and hating my mother and having children of my own and not wanting to follow her patterns of mental and emotional abuse, but then to understand why she was the way she was, and she just didn't have anybody.
What qualities made you hate her when you were younger?
Oh gosh. There's the Asian fat shaming. I was never I was never skinny enough or pretty enough, or I have a super square jawline, and my mom used to tell me that I needed to hide my face and cover it up. And after I learned my mom and my dad's story, what I came to discover, also described in the book when I saw Miss Saigon, the Broadway show, that there's a term in Vietnam for Amerasian children like me. It's called bu doi, and bu doi means conceived in the depths of hell. And so to understand that my mom was afraid that in America that I would be recognized as Amerasian and be hated or mistreated the way the Amerasians were who were left behind in Vietnam.
Yeah, I'd imagine that they're treated way differently in Vietnam than they are in the United States, right? I have no idea what that upbringing was like, but I imagine up here it was an afterthought if it even came up.
Do you know, I grew up in the mountains of North Idaho, and I'm not sure, other than my mom telling me that I was different or that I really knew that I was. Like, I've never experienced discrimination or, as a female minority.
Wait. In North Idaho? Hold on.
Yeah.
I actually wrote that down. I wrote down racism because I was going to ask you about that, because that is like a huge thing for people. And I know there's a history of it here, but you didn't experience that.
I did not.
Okay.
And I believe my dad moved us to the mountains of North Idaho to protect us. What I learned on that trip also was I had a grandmother who wanted my dad to come home alone and leave my mom and his child behind. And some of his best friends gave him a lot of shit for
I bet.
bringing someone from Vietnam here.
I imagine it was very hard to do also to get her here, your mother here. I don't even know what that process would look like.
I don't either. Anyone who was involved in the paperwork, or maybe there was paying off of officials in Vietnam to get her paperwork done, everyone's passed away. So I don't have the exact details of that, other than I had an uncle, my dad's brother, who sent money back to Vietnam. So I really don't know. And at my age, I look back and I really think it was just the hand of God.
Right. Divine intervention.
Yeah.
What did your dad do in Vietnam? What was his role there?
My dad's role was a mortarman.
Okay.
He was supposed to be on the front lines. And because of his carpentry skills, his higher beings ended up pulling him from the front lines. And so my dad ended up building the Chow Hall and several other buildings that kept him from being on the front lines.
See, everybody, trade skills.
Yeah,
trade skills are valuable.
We don't push that a lot lately.
Literally save your life.
Is he from here originally?
My dad's from Minnesota originally,
okay.
yeah. And a little bit about my dad in this story. So he met my mom and found out that she was pregnant with me. And my dad was so concerned about her and my safety that he actually went AWOL. And he was AWOL for about 9 months, obviously to my grandmother's dismay. And he just wanted to keep her safe. He ended up going to the BX one day and got picked up by the military police. And there was my mom back in this hotel where they were living, where, you know, he was like maybe buying TVs and cigarettes and selling them on the black market to live. After about 3 weeks in Vietnam, like in their jail, he talked his commander before they shipped him back to the U.S., allowing him to go back to that hotel. And he told the front desk person to give my mom a message because he knew that that's where she worked. And he got the message to her. And I mean, I have no idea how they stayed in touch. But when my dad got back to the States, he was sentenced to a year in Leavenworth. And for good behavior, he was released after 9 months. So in that time, my mom and I got to America. I was born in Spokane, and then in August of 69, and then my dad got out of prison in November of 69.
Wild. And she did that by herself, so she's coming to a new country.
Yep.
Was she able to speak English at all? Was there like very...
Limited.
Yeah. Right? How old was she?
She was 21.
So 21 years old, you leave everything that you've known there with a brand new baby going to a new place without your American husband even there. That's wild.
I can't imagine the difficulty. When I was 21, I was a complete knucklehead.
Yeah.
Did she maintain contact with her family like throughout those years, or was it just as soon as she left, it was like cut off from?
So when she left Vietnam, she never saw her mother again. Her mom passed away in the 90s. Her family kept in touch with her. They sent letters, and her family, I don't think it's unlike other cultures that they believe that money grows on trees. And so it was this constant asking for money. And so my mom's tension and emotional distress just grew and grew and built over the years.
Every letter she gets, she's anticipating. And then she feels like there's some obligation probably to do that.
Yeah. And she, of course I understand it now, but as a little girl, her weeping and saying, well, I've already sacrificed. She didn't send any money back.
Right.
She was like, nope, I've already given you guys everything I have to give. And she really focused on our family. Our family came first.
Well, in fairness and completely from like an objective point of view, it's also somewhere inside said, you've already trafficked me, right? Like you've already made money off of me and taken something that you can't get back.
Yep.
Right. So we're here on this side now, and I'm going to focus on this, on this core family here.
Yep.
Wild.
And when my dad came back to the U.S. to do his time in prison, until my mom was able to leave Vietnam, her mother did make her go back to work. So, learning that story, I mean, now that I've shared it, I could really understand all that emotional. I just couldn't imagine the pain that she experienced leaving her family, but on top of being sex trafficked by her own mother.
How old were you when you went there and found this out?
36.
36. What was it like setting foot in Saigon? What's that city like now? I don't know anything about it.
Oh, it's full of life and hustle and bustle. And I've been to Vietnam twice. And if I were to compare the North to the South, the North was very much more communist, while communism is still present in the South. It seemed to be more entrepreneurial and free-spirited in the South compared to the North.
Interesting.
Is sex trafficking still a strong thing there?
I'm not sure. Yeah. I mean, families are having less children. I have a cousin who just has one daughter, and her daughter only has one daughter. So they're not having those huge families.
Right.
Like they were, at least in my experience. And it was wild my second trip. So that first trip I went back with my parents. I was obviously super naive. I hadn't heard anything about my parents' story. And the big goal was my mom wanted to go back and to see her father again. And she'd only been back one time in 1995 and had a great visit with the family. So when we went back, she wanted to see her father again. And I'm like, okay, cool. This is a dream come true. I'm going to meet my grandfather for the first time ever. And a couple of weeks before we went back, we got a letter from my mom's family, and they asked for $50,000 in U.S. cash.
Wow.
And they said if we didn't bring it, that we couldn't see my grandfather.
Wow.
And I know, you just can't even make it up.
Yeah, and you just have to wonder if it's like survival, right? Because obviously you're excited to go back. Your mom's excited to go back.
Yeah.
And is that excitement projected as an opportunity, right? Or is it interpreted as an opportunity? Say, oh, they really want to do this.
Yeah.
What can we gain from this?
Yeah.
Right? And I just have to wonder if it's growing up in a environment where it is survival, right? And whether or not you just let go of that, or whether you can't let go of that.
Yeah.
Right? Like that's terrible. You guys are excited about going back, and to me that just seems opportunistic.
Yeah. And I'm completely naive. I, have the entrepreneurial spirit, which I know we'll get into. And I'm like, oh, you guys are crazy. We're not going to cancel the trip. So we go back. I meet the family, and I'm so happy. And I'm looking around, and I don't see my grandfather. And pretty soon my mom gets into it with her sisters. And I don't know Vietnamese. My parents wanted me to be very American, so I don't speak the language, but I could tell from the tension.
Oh yeah, that's body language is a thing. Voice inflection is a thing. I don't care what language. You're like, oh, they're pissed. All right.
Yeah. And they just said, you didn't bring the money, you're not going to see your father. And so we left defeated, and on the way out the door, they said, come back in a week and maybe we'll let you see them or him. And anyway, it was so shocking. So we did a little bit of touring around Vietnam with my mom and dad. Anyway, it got to be a week later, Saturday night, my mom calls the family and says, okay, we're going to see you tomorrow. And there was some fighting, and they said, you don't have the money, just don't bother coming over. Well, I was awake all night, and I think that was the first time I really discovered that I had my mom's spirit. Like I was trying so hard to not be like her, but then to discover, I was like, I woke up in the morning and I said, what are they going to do if we just show up?
Yeah, yeah, absolutely.
So we did. I put my parents in the cab, and they were terrified, and so was I. And the aunts were shocked that we showed up. And somehow in that culture, I knew I just was not supposed to cry. And I don't want to say I'm speaking on behalf of the entire culture, because I'm sure not everyone's family dynamic was like my experience. But there's fighting and fighting and fighting in Vietnamese, and I can't control it. And I just burst into tears. And my aunts come over, and I was given a Vietnamese name by my grandmother before I left. My mom left Vietnam. It's Hong Sung, and it means dew on a red rose. And so my aunts came over and said, what's wrong with Hong Sung? And I said, gosh, I've come all this way. I want to meet my grandfather. And I should mention, I have some English-speaking male cousins that live there, so they were translating. And so they disappeared. And I thought, okay, cool, we're gonna do this. We're gonna meet him. So they walk us upstairs, and what had happened was my aunts drugged my grandfather. He was asleep.
No way.
Yeah. And seeing my mom weep over her father and that opportunity to see him, it changed me.
When it likely wasn't his choice.
Correct. I don't think that he even had any idea that we were there.
Oh my God.
Or how long that had been happening for.
How old was he roughly at the time?
Probably 85. Yep. My male cousin said, Hong Sung, you have to understand, your grandfather would be so excited to see you that he'd be so excited he might have a heart attack and die, and then we'd have to blame you.
Wait. So because of that, we are going to dose him with a lot of narcotics so that you can't see him conscious.
Yeah.
Do you think there's any part, without trying to get too crazy into like projecting what other people are thinking, do you think that sounds like it was steered by your aunts? How much of that do you think was jealousy at the life that your mom was living?
Oh, 100%, 1,000%.
Right. Like they're holding the one thing that they have over her, which is, interactions with her dad.
Yep.
And they're taking that one thing and saying, no, we're not going to give you this because they're jealous of the opportunity she's had here.
I can only assume they were trafficked as well.
I don't know about the younger sisters. My mom had 2 older sisters that were trafficked as well.
So I could definitely see the jealousy because they probably lived that life long after your mom left, knowing that, she's in a place where, and maybe the assumption was that all Americans are rich and that's the money thing, but which is, you're living in North Idaho. It's probably not likely that was the case at the time, right?
Yeah.
But wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, the jealousy thing, I could see that.
So I came away from there, like, I got home and told my husband the story, and he was like, you got to write a book.
Yeah.
Right.
And that's when the seed was planted. And fast forward a few years, and we are in the recession in 2008, 2009, and I had decided to go get my executive MBA from Boise State. So I traveled for 22 months back and forth every month to Boise to get my MBA. And I truly had no idea that when I signed up for this particular program, I'm sitting in class a couple months in, and my professor says, guess what? You're going to get this certification, to work overseas, and we're going to go study capitalism in a communist country. We're going as a class to Hanoi, Vietnam.
Wow.
I mean, I couldn't have planned it. So again, the divine intervention. I did go back with my classmates and professors to Hanoi, Vietnam in 2010. And Boise State sent professors back in the 90s and taught 3 classes of MBAs to Vietnamese people in Hanoi. So there were a lot of connections there. We visited a construction company, jewelers, so on and so forth. Well, before the trip, I was like, okay, I really have to strategize this because I'm not going to have the same relationship with the family that my mom did. So I sent $500 in advance, which, you got to understand that's a ton of money in the conversion. And I said, it's my husband's 40th birthday. I want you to have a party for him. And so Todd and I traveled through Vietnam for 10 days with some classmates, and it got to be the night we were going to my family's house, and I walked in, gave them all gifts, gave them more money, couple hundred per family member. And the minute I sat down, they said, Hong Sung, you want to meet your grandfather? And they marched me right upstairs, and I got to meet him.
Right. Wow. That's wild. That has to be such a perspective shift when you come back to the States, like especially after the first trip, and then that when you say, oh, okay, I see it now. I get it. Yeah.
And it was one of the most beautiful top 10 experiences. And he ended up passing away at the end of my MBA program. And again, like I said, there was no way I could have planned that trip any better. It was I was divinely guided, for sure.
What a special thing for him to get to meet you and be awake this time.
Yeah.
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 Providential cosmos, bro. Providential cosmos.
Yes.
That's wild. Conversely, did you ever get a chance to meet your grandmother?
I didn't. She passed away in the early 90s.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So
interesting. I'm trying to think like the emotions your mom must have gone through. What was life like for her here? Do you have a concept of that? I mean, it's hard when you're a kid. You don't really realize what your parents are going through, but
I mean, I'm still processing, even though I just released the book, in September. And I've discovered my mom was an extrovert, and she was happiest when she got a job. When I was in middle school, she was around other people, and she was a light. My dad, on the other hand, and he would tell you, he's like a recluse. If he could be by himself, he just doesn't like to be around people.
Right.
Social anxiety. So life was great. I mean, they started with nothing. My dad was a framer, owned Heston Construction in Spokane, and built a bunch of homes on the South Hill for the retirement community. Rockwood Homes, I think is what it was called, and built a beautiful life. And then my mom had an experience about 7 or 8 years ago where she was having some really bad headaches. She went into a local neurologist here, and they went to do a nerve block, and they missed the nerve, and it stopped her heart instead.
Oh.
And she was gone for about 10 minutes, and they ignored her DNR and brought her back, and she was unable to walk after that. And so we just watched her deteriorate over 5 years. Yeah. So, and I don't view that, well, people have asked me, did you guys sue the doctors? And we're just not a suing family. And I speak only for myself, not for my dad or my sisters. I mean, there's in the Bible, it's Jesus and the disciples, and they say, did that blind man sin, or did his parents sin, and is that why he's blind? And Jesus says, no, it's not he didn't sin, nor did his parents. He was chosen to be blind, to see God and love manifested in him. And that's the conclusion I've come to, is I was able to love and forgive and love my mom, like I said at the beginning, the way she deserved to be loved. So she's been gone a couple years now.
I lost my dad last year, so I'm sorry.
Yeah,
it's tough. Well, and it's especially tough when you see somebody that strong for their entire life.
Yes.
Endure what they endure, and then get put into a position where physically they can't do what they want. I think that's the hardest. That's the most difficult part, right?
Yeah.
Just see that limitation. That's a tough deal.
Yeah. And so the book, I used the pain for my mom's passing to finally write the book, because, it was like 15, 20 years I've been thinking about it. And it's a book about what I worked through to be able to forgive and understand my parents the way that they were, and that they did the best that they could.
Well, I think that
like
goes.
We all do.
Yeah, and I think that goes a long way too. I think the theme of that would be, or something to take from it would be, seek to understand, right?
Yes.
Instead of just looking at it and saying, blaming an individual.
Yeah.
Seek to understand why they are the way that they are, and that could be like that with a lot of different relationships.
That could be like that with a lot of the world right now, right?
Yes, try to seek to understand first.
Yeah.
And I think the overarching theme is my hope when people read Made in Vietnam, my epic American journey, that they remember that love is just not a feeling we carry quietly in our hearts, but it's a living force that's meant to be shared, shown, and set into motion. And so I know you guys don't know me that well. We just met. But I love big, and I love people, and I express it.
Yeah. Well, that's one of the things that makes us different as a species.
Yeah.
Nothing wrong with that at all.
Because life and love is beautiful and tragic all at the same time, right?
Yeah.
So I think that story really encompasses all of that.
Yeah. I do want to mention my dad, of course, was not he's still alive. And he was living with my husband and me while my mom was in memory care. He moved back to Minnesota to be near his family, his brothers. And he was really against the book and really nervous because he's very private and hadn't shared the story with anyone. And on launch day, he'd asked for the link and sent it out to friends and family. And now they know his story about going AWOL. Now I can understand why he was hiding. You know, he had some shame, and I'm not sure he felt like people could connect with him. And after 48 hours, he said, "How interesting that it's thundering and lightning in Minnesota because it's matching my shuddering and crying after reading your book." And he said, "Good read."
Good.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
That's amazing.
I'm sure for him it's a little bit freeing. I mean, because you hang on to all that, and you probably spend a lot of your time hiding. I'm guessing you spend a lot of time hiding that shame with dudes, especially. So
Sure.
yeah, it's a funny thing, but
right. No, you know how I met my wife, right? That's a unique story, and I could see a guy wanting to keep that inside.
Yeah.
And then the AWOL thing too, right? Especially at that time, it was frowned upon.
Right.
Wow.
Yeah.
Pretty cool. Like I said, for him, it has to be like a big burden that's lifted off of him.
I hope
like,
so.
Like it's out there, and he's like,
Probably.
okay, well, it is what it is.
And look,
and he would have wanted you to do it for you, right?
Yeah.
Like that's one thing I think daughter's love is going to overpower any personal shame that he feels, but he's still like, But now it's out, and he's like, okay, all right.
Not
this
as
is the
bad
new
as
normal.
not
I'm
as
good.
bad as he thought for
Yes,
all of those decades,
exactly.
right? Like,
Yep.
I'm sure maybe a couple people said something, probably not, but you know, even if they did, there was probably a more of an outpouring of love and support than what he thought would have happened.
At some point, he's going to say, Elaine, I wish you would have written this 25 years ago. It was great. All right. I wouldn't have to hide out in the house as often as I did.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Oh my gosh, that's an
Yeah.
awesome story. Tell me about growing up on Carpenter Loop in North Idaho in the 80s, 90s.
Okay. Carpenter Loop. So my parents really wanted to be debt free. My dad was a framer. And so when I moved to the mountains of North Idaho, right before second grade, we moved into a home that was framed and we didn't have windows. And we lived in the home as my parents earned money. Then they paid cash for the home. And it took like 10 or 15 years for the house to get finished, but just lots of playing in the dirt piles and just walking the gravel roads up there.
How many acres did you guys have?
5.
Yeah.
And then my uncle had, I think, maybe 60 acres in a home just up above us. So it was me and my sisters, and we just spent a lot of time alone and together.
Yeah. A lot of time outside.
Yeah.
North Idaho kids.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah. As I got a little bit older, I was out on the job sites with my dad doing cleanup. So picking up those scraps of wood, washing windows, you know, dusting, sweeping sawdust, all the things. And I even used to set panels and rebar so my dad could pour concrete.
That's cool.
Amazing.
So that literally laid the foundation for your entrepreneurship later in life.
Yeah.
It did.
Full circle.
It's in my DNA.
Is that how you met your husband?
It is not. So before I get to Todd, I used to watch how weather-beaten my dad was and how hard he worked. And I thought, man, I am never going to marry a contractor.
Yeah.
And here we are.
And here we are. But so my husband is a graduate of Coeur d'Alene High School. I went to Post Falls High School, and we just had a best friend who was engaged to Todd's older brother, and she kept saying, you need to meet the younger brother, and I did. And Todd and I have been, I guess, together for 37 years and married for 33. So we hit it off.
How many kids?
3 kids.
Nice.
Yep.
Then they've all grown up here, gone to schools here.
Yep. All 3 kids went to Lake City High School. So I have twin boys. They're 30. And my daughter's 24.
Nice.
And 2 grandbabies.
Do they still live local?
The boys live locally, and then our daughter, right after high school, she was one of those COVID seniors.
Yeah.
She moved to the North Shore of Hawaii.
Oh,
She's still there.
nice.
Okay.
Not a
She's
bad
still
place to visit every
Yeah.
once in a while. I saw the aloha around your neck. Okay,
Yes.
very cool.
Yeah.
Oh, that's amazing. Okay, so like I want to know, you know, I've only been here 5 years. What changes have you seen in your lifetime in this place? And do you like it?
Oh my gosh. I mean, I travel the world every year and I love it. But there's no place like Coeur d'Alene, Idaho. It's the most beautiful place in the world. What has changed? Gosh, get on the freeway at that state line exit. There was no buildings all the way.
No
into
Cabela's?
Portland.
Yeah, no.
There was no buildings.
No Walmart. Yeah, no Maverick gas station. There was nothing right there.
And to go to Skate Plaza was like, way north and way out of the way.
Yeah. And now you're like, yeah, it's not a big deal. Yeah, it's
Not
all
a big
filled up.
deal at all. I like the forward motion of having new people come into Coeur d'Alene. Of course, growing up on the state line, I think there was an awareness that, you know, the Aryan nations were here, and there was every summer there was the
Parade.
worldwide whatever for a week. But we spent a lot of our time going into Spokane and shopping U City and grocery shopping in Washington side. So looking back, I think that was by design.
Yeah. Steered it that way. And it's funny. I mean, Idaho still has that stigma. There's still people that reach out and say, oh, you don't want to go to Idaho. It's racist, because their Aryan nations did have that headquarters up there with Butler and all that stuff that was up in Hayden. But since that time, you never experienced any of that growing up in
No.
public schools.
Nope.
Kids the same way.
Yep.
Good.
No. I mean, one time when I was 19, I worked at Godfather's Pizza, and it was kind of across the street from the old Davis Donuts there on Best.
I remember. I remember Godfather's
Yeah, it was
Pizza,
Godfather's Pizza, and I was working there, and there was the worldwide parade,
Yeah.
whatever. And I did have someone come in and harass me. You know, it was
Yeah.
a man that came from Vegas, and, you know, he said he was going to come back and pay me a visit. So, but I didn't take it personal, because he wasn't from here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So as you've lived here and grown here and raised kids here, I mean, obviously a lot of the conversations we have with people is that, you know, North Idaho is growing too fast and we're full. We kind of lobby against that. A lot of the people that are moving here are bringing certain traits and skill sets, and they're just enhancing the experience of living here.
Yeah.
I truly think that way. I mean, have you had that experience in the last 5-6 years?
Like I said, I like the forward motion. I like the hustle and bustle of it. I like some new entrepreneurship. Like, there's a couple new shops downtown. I don't know if they're from locals or not, but I like the diversity. I like diverse restaurants. You know, we got a couple Vietnamese restaurants now, and
Yeah.
Indian food. And
Yeah. Okay, but real talk. There's Vietnamese restaurants here now. How different was that than actual Vietnamese food in Vietnam?
Oh my gosh, there's no comparison.
Yeah, all right. See, exactly. That's what I mean.
There's no
Americanized Vietnamese restaurants.
Yeah.
Yeah, what I always try to like put my finger on what it is that I love about this place. Obviously, it's beautiful. I like the Four Seasons because I grew up in a place with Four Seasons, so that's a big one for me.
Yes.
But it always comes back to the people. Is that like similar for you?
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
Some of our best friends, you know, my husband went to high school with, and it's the human connection that makes the experience. I think people here are super friendly, and I feel like at least the people I hang out with are super welcoming to diversity, and I like it.
Well, it's funny when people come out here and visit. I always encourage them, and I'd say this to anybody out here that's listening, that's talking about at least taking a trip out. Make that first trip just intel gathering. Just go live amongst the people for a while.
Yeah.
Go hit up a restaurant. Go walk through a park. Go start a conversation with somebody. Somebody's going to start one with you.
Yeah.
Guaranteed.
Other parts of the country, if you like to travel, which it sounds like you do, I would love to. I was stationed in Guam. I was on subs. See, I forgot to do it this time.
Yeah,
I forgot to put it on Do Not Disturb training.
Yeah.
Training for me. I got it. But I was stationed in Guam, so it was Japan and Thailand. Those are the few of the places, right? But I got to live in enough parts of the world to realize how vastly different this one is. And it's funny because it was so close to my hometown. But then you come back, and my wife's from Florida, and he's like, "Why is everybody so friendly here? They hold the door open for you and say hi and good morning." She's like cautious.
Yeah.
Like it
Oh,
sucks
yeah.
that you're cautious where you come from. You grew up in New York. I know
Yeah,
you know.
yeah, yeah.
You're like there's some game to this.
Why are you
Somebody's
saying hi to me?
Yeah, you're scheming me somehow, some way. But yeah, it is different, and a lot of that. I just think there's an inherent culture here. People probably, when you were growing up, neighbors. I know Carpenter Loop. Neighbors had to rely on each other. Right?
That's
like, I'd imagine they'd ask your dad for help with stuff.
Oh,
and in
yeah.
turn, they'd come help you guys with stuff,
Yeah.
plowing the road, grading the road,
Yeah.
whatever it is.
Yeah.
It's funny.
And the other part of North Idaho, I mean, outdoors, you mentioned the Four Seasons. I mean, my family, including my daughters-in-law, are big hunters, and I mean, 5 bull elk the last 2 hunting seasons.
Oh,
Nice.
You know, some amazing bucks, and the salmon fishing down in Lewiston,
Yeah.
the skiing in the winter. There's so much to do. Yeah.
Yeah, if
It's
you're
wonderful.
bored, that's what I say. If you get bored here, that's on you.
That's on you. Something
Sorry,
you're doing
man,
something wrong.
because there's always something to do. You know, get out in the woods, get out in the forest, and connect a little bit.
Yes.
I don't know. That's
Yeah.
what I realize when I have to travel outside of the state, even if it's just going drill over in Spokane, because it's changed so much. And I gotta wade through the zombies downtown.
It's such a difference. I mean, I was walking around downtown Coeur d'Alene yesterday. I was at our office doing some work, and I went to get coffee. And just looking at how happy everybody is downtown. And I don't know, they might be tourists, they might be from here. I'm not sure. You don't know on the street, but you know, making eye contact with everybody, saying hi.
Yes.
It's a big deal. It lightens me up. It makes me feel good. It's a lot different than other cities. I've lived all over this country. I haven't been out of the country much, but lived all over the country, 8 different states. And I've never found anywhere like that.
Yeah.
Where you have that immediate connection with people and people are genuinely happy to be around.
Yeah, because you mentioned the hustle and bustle, right? Forward motion. I like seeing that too, and some businesses gain traction. But I don't like hustle and bustle just for the sake of that.
Right.
Right? Where this one seems a little bit more like people are moving. They're definitely working. They've got it. You know, it's an intentional hustle, but it's never enough to where you can't say hi and wave and smile and have a 3-minute conversation with somebody and wish them. But that's what I see when I walk around downtown. Like there's definitely business oriented people that are doing some cool things.
And it's like there's such a connection between small business here. I mean, we met at the Chamber of Commerce.
Yeah.
Well, I didn't actually meet you. Met my wife. Yeah. But
She's cooler. Anyway.
Yeah. That's maybe the difference is you get the hustle and bustle, but it's a lot of mom and pop shops. It's people supporting each other locally. And I think it's an excellent model for how a city should be all across the country. Eric talks about this all the time, is that, you know, we try to be the example here for it.
Yes.
We can't affect change across the country, but we can be an excellent example of how people should live.
Yeah.
And then hopefully that ignites a fire other places.
Yeah.
Yeah, because undeniably as Coeur d'Alene's grown and prospered and we operate in the black and we're not in a bunch of debt. There are some cities that are suffering, and a lot of them are suffering by their own implementation of policy. So we say we can't fix all of those.
Yeah.
We can is try to retain this community culture we have here, which is awesome.
Yep.
Right? And people can succeed here and work hard and network and all that. Try to be a good example for some of the other ones, and hopefully it swings back.
You mentioned policy. So I've served on the board of directors of Mountain States Policy Center the last couple of years, and I haven't really been involved like in politics or policy before, but I'm just so proud to be on that board because I feel we serve 4 states, Montana, Idaho, Wyoming, and Eastern Washington. Do what we can.
Very different policies. Yeah. That's good though.
But it feels good knowing that there's a staff out there that's watching over the policy and seeing what's coming through the pipeline. And
you have to. I think there was for a long time, even 20 years ago, they would encourage you to just go out and work and produce, take care of you and you kind of got to push that stuff to the back burner. Politics was almost an afterthought.
Yeah.
Now you'd think about it during elections and you'd have good conversations.
Yeah.
Now, I mean, that is a direct impact to people, to families and local businesses. So you have to stay proactive and learning that. So good on you.
And I would say, we've been talking about how, we want Coeur d'Alene to be the example. I mean, it's localism, right? If we take care of our families and we take care of each other, then it could start to spread. And be curious about each other. And anyway.
Yeah. No, that's funny. Dan, we just had Daniel on. He was saying the same thing. I think the way that we beat this, because I think a lot of people get overwhelmed and mad and frustrated at national stuff. The way that you fix it is you double down on localism.
Yes.
No, let's concentrate. Let's make our community, like get our little family, get our neighborhood, get all our small town, and then it expands out to the county, and then a larger city like Coeur d'Alene.
Yeah.
Let's keep doubling down on making that as good as we possibly can. Other states other citizens will take note. People in Spokane already look over here and like, man, why is it you pay a quarter of my property taxes and your crime rate is literally 46 places behind mine on a national level? I think that's the way to do it.
Yeah, me too.
What have you learned? Oh, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
No, what have you learned? What have you learned as you're not a politician, but you're on this board? What's been one of your biggest takeaways?
The focus on policy.
Yeah.
I mean, for me, I think what I learned was focus less on the politician and focus on what policy does he or she promote or not promote, or that makes this state a wonderful place to live.
Yeah.
I'm very hopeful. We started to get into the politics a little bit on this podcast. We've had a lot of the council members, mayors, a lot of people coming on that, and to sit down and talk with somebody for an hour and a half, that's how you really get to know them. You're well beyond any little talking points anybody can memorize at that point.
Yeah.
And, we just try to create an environment where people are comfortable and they want to talk. And it's an excellent way for the public to kind of get to understand who's running for these positions.
Yes.
It's super effective. It's great for us.
Yeah, whatever canned material you come here with,
you're
you
not-
burn through that in about 10 minutes, right? Like everybody's got some little 2-minute blurbs and speeches prepared if you're running for office, but you burn through that in 10 minutes and then it's just a conversation and let people get an idea who you are.
It's given me a lot of hope because there are a lot of people that are taking a proactive step in trying to push things in the right direction that we all think is right. I think all of our values align.
Yep.
And the side effect is that we, as a community, are attracting more qualified citizens here. So I know, we get pushback sometimes. Oh, stop telling people about Idaho. Well, the right people are interested.
Yeah.
The people that are whose values don't align are generally not interested because this place is too scary. So I think the great side effect is that we are attracting more of these people, more small business, more people with great ideas, more people whose values align and want to raise their kids in a place like this.
Family oriented, like that's a big part of it. And family freedom to choose how your kids are going to ingest material. That's that's a huge part of why younger families are moving here, which I think is great. Our median age continues to go up because our housing prices go up, and that tends to be what people can afford. But it's great to see younger families that are seeking it out. They're selecting it over other states. Two clients right now that just bought houses put us on a spreadsheet and just had it lined out with all their priorities, and Idaho comes out on top.
Oh, wow.
Means we're doing something right. So policy makers, freedom to have a say in your kids' education.
Yes.
When you're looking at states like Washington, is massive for people.
Yeah.
When Washington looks at them and says, "You don't know what's best for your kids. We do. We're going to decide what they ingest, right?" But I've seen that flip too. Meade, I just read it yesterday. Meade School District just passed something with their school district that basically requires teachers to stick to their curriculum. Right? They want them to teach curriculum. They don't want them to teach personal political ideologies. Yeah. So
Things are shifting.
Yeah. And you were in the school system. You were a teacher. So there tends to be one way they kind of align. But I don't care if it's either way. I just want you to teach the curriculum.
Yes.
And teach kids how to critically think for themselves.
And I think the second thing I've learned about being on the board at Mountain States Policy Center is the use of voice. Like, I don't know, in a positive, logical manner. I think people are learning to exercise their voice more.
Right.
I mean, we could sit back and watch things happen, or we can have a voice and speak up.
Apathy is dangerous, and I think that is something that's being pushed back upon. It's been common up here for people to come here or live here and say, things are perfect the way they are. I don't even need to go out and vote.
Yeah.
It'll just always be the way it is. But if we do that, then ideologies that we may or may not agree with start to slip in, and then that's where the danger happens.
Yeah.
So you're right. Voice is really hugely important.
Yes.
The most important thing.
I think it's going to get even more important because everybody now can write a well-articulated email or send out a really articulated message because AI can write it.
Yeah.
Voice, what's the thing you can't change? AI can't come out and speak on your behalf or my behalf or in the, for the benefit of raising our kids locally.
Yeah.
That's going to be such a huge thing. The ability to narrate orally, right, in front of a group of people and inspire, I think is huge. But I was curious about that because you're an author now. How much, and it took, yours, some authors are founded in its creativity, which it is a little bit. In your case, it's just putting a really powerful story to words. But do you think that's going to affect it moving forward? Like book writers, novelists, stuff like that?
AI?
Yeah.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. I utilized a writing coach, and so what happened was I actually reached out. Her name is Bridget, and I wanted her to ghostwrite the book because while I can write like a basic email, I never imagined I could write a whole book. And she's like, nope, you need to do this yourself. And so the cadence we had was I would write 2 chapters one week, and then the next week she would review my content, and she didn't change it. She would just write questions like go deeper here. And so over the course of this book, she taught me how to write. And she just finished a program with Goldman Sachs, and she really didn't want to use AI or felt like it belonged in writing books, but she is developing some sort of tool. I don't really know how that is going to help.
That's a great way
writing,
to do it.
Yeah, she's developing a tool so that it's private and not out there for everybody to see. Or part of the data collection. So
interesting.
Yeah.
How did you publish this? Did you find a publisher or did you self-publish?
No, I ended up self-publishing. So I know we haven't talked about my business yet, but Todd and I sold to private equity 4 years ago. And one thing, it didn't occur to us, because Todd and I are awesome, like business operators together. It didn't occur to us that our private equity group wouldn't want to keep us on. So that's a whole different story. So I chose self-publishing because I realized if I chose a publisher, they could change my story to sell books. And it was really important for me to own my own copyright. So I actually just got my official U.S. government copyright certificate that
cool.
I own 100% of my story.
Oh, cool.
Well, and I imagine that when you went to Bridget, she also thought it was really important because that's got to come through. Like your experience, like some of that somebody else can't write that for you.
Yeah,
you know what that felt like and when you're describing it. So I think, especially with a book like that, because that's going to put people in your seat.
Yeah.
And some of those emotions are going to be real.
So I ended up hiring a company that did all the formatting and, they know all that stuff on Amazon to do. But I ended up promoting it myself and so on and so forth. So it turns out that writing the book was the easy part.
Yeah, it's the rest. Yeah, I get that.
It's always the marketing, man. The marketing. That's what makes or breaks everything.
I have people in the office that are really good at organizing because that ain't me. Parts of the job I'm really good at, but there's people that take care of all the stuff that's actually important. Yeah, no doubt.
Where can people find this? Amazon, obviously.
It's on Amazon, and I am super grateful for our local bookstores. We have It's a Love Story, The Well-Read Moose, and Kindred and Company in Post Falls will be carrying it starting this week, I believe, and then Auntie's Bookstore in Spokane.
Oh,
wild.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Yeah, I maybe some coffee shops downtown, a couple spots like that. Yeah, it's just nice. We just had a guy on, Charles Sage. He lives in Saigon, and he writes different genre, but he's a self-published author. Great dude, and he's been putting his books in a lot of the local coffee shops, like Best Life, because he's a former cop. Not a vet. He's a former cop.
Yep.
And so that kind of ties in, and he just puts it in there. Yeah. But
and then Amazon, of course. I had a funny experience happen just 2 days after it was the Kindle version was released on Amazon. I hopped online and I had 2 fake AI books out there
no way.
by male authors. So I think what happened was they take the Kindle version, plugged it into AI, and then tied it, looked for business articles out there about me too. And then it was like the story of Elaine Damschen built in America. And anyway, so those are finally taken down as of last week. But so I was working through that too.
But that's a totally different thing that nobody predicts. And you're like, oh, great. Oh, that's awesome.
I didn't even
take all of
think that
yeah.
would be a possibility.
That's wild.
So
very cool.
That was
any future books?
I am working on a children's book.
Oh,
Nice.
It's being illustrated right now, and it has to do with the skilled trades: electrical, heating, cooling, and plumbing.
Heck
Awesome.
yeah, I'm all over that.
Yeah.
That's the future.
I'm big on trades.
Yes.
I'm big on trades. Well, yeah, that's been your guys' your entire life's been kind of surrounded around the trades
Yep.
industry. Yeah.
Yep.
So you guys sold your construction business in Spokane 4 years ago?
So, yep, it's mainstream electric, heating, cooling,
Yeah.
and plumbing, and we did straight service work. So residential existing repair and replacement,
Right.
which is a niche. When we started it in 2000, people thought we were crazy. And, there's so much building. There's an assumption that we did new construction, but we didn't work with contractors or do new construction because we wanted control of our schedule and wanted to have control of our own cash flow.
Yeah. Nice. And then you guys sold that. Are you still in business now? Did you guys start a new business?
No, so we signed a 5-year no compete.
Yeah.
And so as of this month, we have 12 months left.
Nice.
I think 369 days left.
Well, I'm guessing your husband's similar. You guys don't strike me as the type of people that can sit still very long, so we'll look forward to the next iteration.
It's been a challenge. Our son Hunter, both of our boys are journeyman plumbers.
Yeah.
Cool.
And our one son Hunter started a business called Encore Plumbing. If you get the name.
Heck yeah. Put it out there.
I like it.
What's your husband doing right now?
So he's an electrician by trade, and he's been retired probably for about 18 months now. So
Nice.
there's just some healing, nervous system healing from the grind every day.
Yeah, I get it.
We can relate.
Get out in the woods, buddy. Get out in the woods. Yeah.
Yeah, and built a shop in our backyard and just kind of dinking around, doing some travel.
Well, if he gets bored and needs to build a shop in somebody else's backyard, I know a guy. I definitely know a guy.
Down.
Yeah, we can make that work.
Oh, that's very cool. So you guys have plans to do something when that non-compete's up, or have you not even thought about that?
Oh, we think about it all the time.
Yeah, of course.
When it first happened, we were like, man, we wish we didn't have such a big, long no compete because we could come back
Yeah.
and just kick their ass.
Yeah.
But we want that business to continue to thrive.
Of
We
course.
started it.
You built that,
They just
yeah.
celebrated their 25th anniversary in our community. Yeah, we talk about it.
Yeah.
We'll see. Maybe we'll do some consulting with Hunter, but
Does
Take it
does
stride.
being an author scratch that itch for you of like needing to produce, create?
well,
a different
it
itch?
has. I'm waiting for my book to be illustrated. So I'm just kind of sitting
Yeah.
and waiting. And this is a complete way off the topic, but so when I was visiting my daughter in Hawaii, I met a swimsuit designer, and I thought, Coeur d'Alene really doesn't have a swimsuit line.
Here we go. Yeah, here we
So
go.
I just put in my order, and I'm in the spring coming out with Essence swimwear.
Cool.
Heck yeah.
A
Targeting.
little North Idaho aloha.
Yeah.
I like that.
This is the beauty of an entrepreneurial mind. It
Yeah.
never stops. We're
Yeah.
built the same way. It's like, hey, should we do this thing? And then thank goodness we have 5 owners on our team, because there's usually
There can always be a no.
there's
No.
somebody that's like, no, you know
We
what?
got these 5 things.
Let's do all
that.
this other crap that
Yeah.
we're trying to do first, and then we'll get to that.
It's so much fun, though.
But it's fun, right?
Yeah, it's
Like,
a
we
blast.
both work. Well, you still work for the government sometimes, but
I do. I'm still in
we
the
both
Navy.
worked for the man for a long time,
Right.
and it's like. I say it all the time. You show up with a pulse and you don't commit a felony and you've got a job and you get a paycheck. And it's kind of soul sucking. So to be able to be out on your own and have ideas and then
Yeah.
to expand on them and run with them and have the time to run with them, it's amazing.
Well, and as you've experienced, especially when you heard something like, you guys are crazy, you shouldn't do that. That's not a good business model. We have something similar. We're like,
Yeah.
you shouldn't be political in real estate. And we're like kind of unapologetically who we are.
Watch.
Yeah.
Watch.
Yeah. Holding my beer. Yeah. Absolutely.
Ultimately, my heart is with the trades. I think when I retired, I was just so fried. It was an unexpected retirement. So small dark night of the soul. My identity was all wrapped up in the success of that business, and
Yeah. I
I've
mean,
real-
literally your whole life.
yeah,
Right?
yeah. And I've just really come to realize. I mean, it's an industry mostly of men. Yes, of course, we want to invite women in, but having been a middle school teacher and seeing how the school system isn't necessarily set up to set young men up for success,
Right.
sit down and read about Mesopotamia and then write this essay that has nothing
Yeah.
to do with their life, right? Not super motivating. And I loved employing men who thought that the trades was a consolation prize to a college degree, maybe came to our company with really low self-esteem, and to help them realize it was just their learning style. It's
Yeah.
not that you're not smart. It's you're a hands-on learner, and to really instill that this country is built on the trades.
Yeah.
The trades is responsible for the health, safety, and comfort of this nation. Moving
Right.
sewage away, clean drinking water, power, heating and cooling, and that's really where my heart is. So
You and I are kindred spirits in that. I am a huge fan of the trades. I had a conversation with my son yesterday because he's going to go into his junior year, and K-Tech offers vocational training, trade school training while you're in high school.
Yeah.
So, buddy, let's look at all the programs. He's like, you pick it for me. I said, no. Like, I want to sit down, and I think you'll do better because school, like sit down schoolwork, doesn't come easy for him. He's got his aptitude scores are high, but he's just all bouncing off the walls all the
He's a
time.
boy.
Yes.
He's bored.
Yes, exactly.
Yes.
So I'm excited for that type of program. I think our country needs more trades, and I think it is a better learning environment. It's
Absolutely.
because we've taken woodworking out of schools, we've taken metallurgy out of schools, we've taken anything that involves their hands out of schools.
Yes.
And we're just kind of putting them in a box and then wondering why they're not successful. Not only that, but school has stopped preparing them for that next level.
Yes.
They don't come out of high school ready to go to work. They don't come out of college ready to go to work.
Yeah.
So we've stopped
Yeah.
doing that.
Yeah.
Trade schools, you're getting ready. Man, you've got a job.
I've just kind of edged my son that way as well. He's a senior, and he doesn't know what he wants to do, but he's very entrepreneurial minded. He's tried to start like 10 businesses in the last couple of years. And, I'm like, just have a backup plan. Yes, I think you will be successful at building a business, but you don't even know what that's going to be at this point. So go experience life. So I just got him in with an internship with the custom home builders that we co-brand with.
cool.
Yeah. So I'm like, just go around these guys, man. Maybe something will spark it. Maybe who knows?
Yeah.
Who knows?
Get out and work.
Get out and do stuff.
That should be the foundation of
Yes.
hard work.
Yes.
Yeah.
Awesome.
And I think clarity comes after we start taking the action.
Yes.
Like we don't really know.
Yeah, that's accurate.
Just
Yeah.
take the action and then the clarity. will
Who
come.
knows exactly what they want to be when they grow up when they're 18?
Still
Yeah.
don't.
Right? Like that's
Still
that
working
shouldn't
on it,
even
Eric.
be- yeah. Oh, I habitually don't know what I want to be when I grow up. It's like a 10-year evolution every single time. I'm going to start a new career. No.
Well, and I'm just going to throw this out there. I haven't checked the numbers lately, but sometime within the last 5 years, in the state of Idaho, there was about 15,000 licensed electricians, and there was only about 5,600 licensed plumbers.
Wow.
So just to kind of show the
Hear that,
the
kids?
need.
Get out there in the
Plumbing.
trades.
There's the future, and then
Yeah.
there's no lack of building up here, and it won't slow down for a while. I'm quite sure. So,
Yeah.
AI can't do that.
that AI cannot do that. Someone has to put their hands on it. And have skill.
It can
Yeah.
write code, do a lot of tech jobs, but
Yeah.
that was a fascinating conversation.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
What a unique perspective on the community and where we are.
Yeah. I
It's
love
awesome.
this community.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks for coming and sharing that. That's an incredible family story.
Thank you.
I'm always interested in the different ways people grow up. We've all got our own little story of how we grew up.
I just learn a lot from other people's experiences.
Yes.
Provide such a unique perspective.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Well, thank you very much. And hey, if you're out there, Made in Vietnam, find it on Amazon. Find the real one, not the crappy
Yeah,
AI ones
exactly,
that people keep
exactly.
making.
Yep.
And give it a read. An excellent story. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you, Elaine.
Thanks for having
All
me.
right.